Hi Capricorn, welcome to your September 2020 reading. You are listening to or watching Earthling Tarot. Welcome back. So I just said to Gemini that I used to do these in a way where I would explain my spread, I would explain the significance of each card, where it's placed. But I've realized that if you're not a reader yourself, that those tips are not very helpful, and I think it kind of hinders the message. So I'm probably not going to do that anymore. Also, if you guys are interested, I'm going to start doing circles on my channel, where I do a new moon video and a full moon video. So if you're interested in that, please hit subscribe. And then I'm also going to be doing a birth chart series. So you'll also need to subscribe to get that. Okay, so why don't we just get into it? So first up you have Knight of Cups. If you kind of notice, he looks like he's on his way to go somewhere. He's got a chalice in his hand. He's really decked out. The horse is decked out. I mean, this is a guy ready to go on a journey. But then look at his face. He's so uninterested. I always say that this is a card of feeling fickle. I mean, it's supposed to be the Pisces card, so I guess maybe you're dealing with a Pisces, but I hate it when readers say things like that, because I try to do more of a divinatory type of situation, so, or, I don't know, philosophical, I guess, but it is kind of it's not indecisiveness, it's truly just being fickle. It's kind of, this is also supposed to be kind of the romantic energy of someone who's a knight in shining armor. That's literally what it is. It's a knight in shining armor. So either this is somebody who came to you, so it could be maybe a job offer, or I mean, it could literally be a knight in shining armor, a marriage proposal, but it's not from somebody you know, so it would have to be an arranged marriage situation. It's some sort of offer, or maybe you're on the search for something, a job search, or you're in school for something, and you think okay, this is it. Yeah, really excited going on this journey. Oh, you're trying to tell people, you're trying to get yourself hyped up about it. You're oh, I heard from this person or job or whatever, and you're trying to be hell yeah, you're trying to hype yourself up at the same time. But in reality, you're kind of feeling, I don't know, it doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, you're a Capricorn, everything leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but it bothers you this time. It bothers you that it bothers you, even though a lot of things bother you, and it usually doesn't bother you. But it kind of bothers you that this time you're kind of just feeling not that it gave you a bad feeling, but that you feel this guy. You feel oh, look at me, I'm all dressed up, I'm ready here. But you don't feel either this person's coming towards you and you don't feel they match you, so you're the Knight of Cups and they came towards you and you don't feel they match it. It's he's showing up to be a suitor, and he sees the person that's being offered to him, and he's what the hell? So I think that's kind of where you guys are at. Or conversely, it could be that you're trying to go towards something that's kind of feeling that way towards you, like not that wowed by you, but just not like a great place to be. Like, it's, like I said, it's very fickle. It's very like, well, I could take it or leave it because I enjoy luxuries. I think that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the thing with Capricorn. I think you guys are very earthy. You're like the other earth signs, but so you're very down to earth. You're very real, you know, like you don't get any fakeness with you. But I think like it's hard for you guys because you already sort of live in this energy of things aren't good enough. So then I think you sort of you escape to materialism. And this is like, you know, the card of materialism and animalistic desires that they can be healthy, but they can't be. And this is actually your card, the Devil card. You know what I mean? Like, this is a chain, however way you want to look at it. It's the old ball and chain, and I think you're thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna escape into materialism like I always do, but then you're sitting there going, well, what materialism? Pff, what? The offer wasn't even good, so like, what am I escaping into? Like, nothing. And I think you're starting to kind of feel like, why do I value those things so hard? Like, why do I think like, I don't know, and it's a comfort thing too. It's the world we live in that kind of perpetuates that, where it's like, even if you think you got out of the material mindset, it's sort of like, well, I would like to be able to afford, you know, not necessities, but like minor luxuries. Like, I'd like to be able to have the time to take care of myself. I'd like to be able to pay for a haircut. You know what I mean? And that isn't asking too much, actually. I think it's more like you're too focused on the material desires, like the material aspect of that. You know, abundance doesn't just appear. And, you know, it doesn't just appear out of thin air. That's kind of what this is showing you with Two of Pentacles. You know, where there's literally abundance in the air. There's Two of Pentacles here, and you're kind of like, oh, shall I have you? And like, meanwhile, there's like randomly a ship in the background, and like a person like me is going like, well, why don't you want to take these ships? Why are you looking at this? And so that's kind of what I'm talking about. You're focusing on the money. You're like, well, I'd like to do that job or do this because money. I'd like to marry that person because money. And, you know, like, that's important. It is. Like, I'm totally not minimizing it. It's very important. But it's likely that these ships probably, like, you know, this probably leads to an entire treasure, whereas this doesn't. And it sucks because right now I feel like you guys are balancing two things. You're balancing money, like an opportunity that appears to seem very close, and then you're nursing another opportunity that's very distant. And they could be like two people, like I said, two opportunities, two jobs. You're kind of nursing those two things, but I think actually there's something beyond that that's on its way, you know, because like these haven't even come to shore. So it's not that you're doing the wrong thing, it's like you need to look at these ships and then they'll come to you, because unless you call to it, it's not going to show up. And it is really that simple. that you just have to ask for the things that you want. In your head, you need to do that every day. And you kind of have to be optimistic about it. But definitely not whatever it is that you're already thinking about. Because I think those two pentacles, you need to like put them down for a second. I think you need to just steer, for lack of a better term, you need to like steer course. You need to go somewhere else and navigate. But I mean, like, you don't actually even have to go anywhere. You just have to say, and maybe this would be a good thing for you to do the new moon circle that I was talking about, that I'm going to be doing on the 17th, because I think you need to call in something else that you've always wanted, like something ridiculous, because I think that would really help you. Even if you don't get exactly that, I think it will help change your mindset. You'll be focused on something else. So like maybe if, okay, the monetary way of looking at it would be, the Capricorn way of looking at it would be like, I'd really like to take a trip to Greece. So maybe I can call in a vacation to Greece. A vacation is, it's like a weirdly materialistic pentacle. You need to be more specific or more broad. So maybe you can try saying like, well, I'd like to study abroad in Greece. I'd like to study the Greek language in Greece. Something like that would be a better way of looking at things. And that's kind of what's going on here with Two of Swords. You're having a lot of anxiety about those two pentacles that are, kind of in reach, but you didn't get them. But it's like it doesn't matter because the ships are coming, and it's really hard to talk about anxiety in these readings because it's like, a lot of people have anxiety. This is kind of more of like a philosophical anxiety. It's kind of like a, it's like a double-edged sword type of thing. And there's like the moon in the background, you're blindfolded, so it's like you need to open your eyes, you need to just take a look at your situation. And, and just take it for what it is. I saw a meme about this, and it was a friend of mine that's a therapist, she posted it, and it was like, try a different perspective, and it was like, it's raining, and so on one side, like, there's a reactionary list of things. Oh, it's raining, so I couldn't go for a walk today, that would have made me really happy. It was raining, so I missed the bus. I got to work late. I had a really bad day because it was raining. It was like a bunch of things that are reactionary. And then the other side was like, it's raining, and the response was, yep. So the point was that you need to try the other one because it'll bring you some peace. So it's like, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, being in the Capricorn energy can be really hard, and you're sitting in it all the time, and you probably don't even know it. Or it's like you do know it, but just think about how unhealthy that is for you to be in all the time, subconsciously. So you need to start thinking about it consciously. So it's like, I think you guys have a lot of floating thoughts all the time. So it's like, if someone says that they really like oatmeal or something, and your immediate reaction is, like, in your head, because you might be a very chill person, but just like in your head, you're like, I hate oatmeal because oatmeal's actually really bad for you because of this, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's, like, your train of thought all the time. But I don't think you realize that, like, on a conscious level. So I think this is, like, telling you to bring your awareness to what you're constantly doing to yourself. So that you stop doing that. So instead you're kind of like, okay. So like if somebody says, I like oatmeal, you're like, alright. accept it. Just accept that they're into it. And that's it. Like, you know it's not for you. So that's awesome. But just sit in it. Just say, like, alright. And that sound, like, I think you're thinking, what, doesn't that come off really condescending? And it's like, no. Like, the other person isn't even gonna notice. Because they don't know what you're thinking all the time. Like, they aren't sitting in your space, you know? And this is kind of like where you guys are always at. Like, you're like, damn, gotta battle all these wands, gotta battle them. But it's like, these are all good things. Like, you're using one of the wands you have to, like, I don't know, attack yourself, I feel like. So it's kind of like some really roundabout way of saying look on the bright side, which is very annoying, I know. But I think it's more like you need to look past the noise. That's a better way of, you know, you can't see the forest through the trees kind of thing. That's the point of this Seven of Wands energy. You know, he's in a battle that's not even there, you know? Like, he doesn't need to be exerting his energy on this. You know, I hate to be like, oh, take a chill pill. It's not about that. You know, I think you guys are chill. I think you've just, I don't know, it's almost like either you guys are in a space where there's a lot of opportunity and support, or just support and not opportunity, or opportunity but then not support, and that sucks. But, yeah, I think if you do look beyond the horizon, so to speak, if you find that silver lining, if you find that you deserve better, basically, than these two pentacles here, and you know that because you were looking at this going like, okay, well, that's not good enough, and you were right, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be that person. It's almost like you're letting yourself be that person when somebody else tells you that they like oatmeal, but you can't do that for yourself. That's kind of the point. You need to do it for you, not reactionary stuff. Who cares if somebody else likes oatmeal? That's great. It's great for them. Whatever. You need to be that champion for you. Like, you need to be that cutthroat about yourself. So don't feel bad that you didn't think this was a good opportunity. It wasn't. And neither are these. I mean, maybe they're okay, but I think to get these, you have to go here. So recognize your own personal worth and be okay with it. Even though right now you're sort of in a stagnant place, good things will come if you stick to your guns. And that's your reading. If it resonated with you guys, leave me a comment down below. Okay, bye.